Celtic Myths and Legends by T.W. Rolleston. Chapter 7. The Voyage of Maeldun. The Homecoming. And we see the offering of Di'aron at the Rhymer. And it is interesting for us to consider how place names and people names become words in later languages, or even the same language. But sometimes that's not the case, so let's not make too many presumptions. At nightfall, they sighted a land like Ireland, and soon came to a small island, where they ran their prow ashore, and it was the island where dwelt the men who had slain Elil, and they went up to the dune that was on the island, and heard men talking within, as they sat at meat. One man said, "It would be ill for us if we saw Maeldun now. That Maeldun has been drowned," said another. "Maybe it is he who shall waken you from sleep tonight," said a third. "And if he should come now," said a fourth, "what should we do?" "Not hard to answer that," said the chief of them. "Great welcome should he have if he were to come, for he hath been a long space in great tribulation." Then Maeldun smote with the wooden clapper against the door. "Who is there?" asked the doorkeeper. "Maeldun is here," said he. They entered the house, and peace and great welcome was made for them, and they were arrayed in new garments. And then they told the story of all the marvels that God had showed them, according to the words of the sacred poet, who said, "Hac olim meminisi juvabit." One day we shall delight in the remembrance of these things. The quotation is from Virgil's Aeneid 1:203. Sacred poet is a translation of the Vetus Saucer of Horace. Okay. Then Maeldun went to his own home and kindred, and Durian the Rhymer took with him the piece of silver that he had hewn from the rest of the pillar, and laid it on the high altar of Armagh in triumph and exultation at the miracles that God had wrought for them. And they told again the story of all that had befallen them, and all the marvels that they had seen by sea and land, and the perils they had endured. The story ends with the following words: "Now Ad the Fair, Adfin, chief sage of Ireland, arranged the story as it standeth here, and he did so for a delight to the mind, and for the folks of Ireland after him." And the sage and poet hasn't been identified from Ad the Fair. Ad Fin wasn't identified from other records. And they're thanking him for this, but I see indication that it's possibly a Christianization of an earlier tale. But we have the penitence of Rhiannon. So all forlorn in the corner, in the doorway.